Shri Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Welcome to all for this session on Ramayana to chapter 57 of Yuddha Kanda. In the previous chapters, we saw the death of Dhumraksha, Vajradamshtra, and Akampana in the hands of Hanuman and Angada. And after seeing their death, Ravana is completely desperate. Hearing the Akampana's death, the irascible lord of the Titans, with a downcast face, took counsel with his ministers, and having reflected a while and deliberated with them, Ravana, the lord of the Titans, passed the forenoon in inspecting the defences, and the king passed through that city decorated with banners and flags guarded by the Titans and filled with innumerable troops. Seeing Lanka besieged, Ravana, the sovereign of the Titans, said to the devoted Prahasta, a skilled soldier, this city, thus beleaguered and hard pressed, O skillful warrior, may you are the only one who can deliver by you can I mean this particular city can only be delivered by either myself, Kumbhakarna, or yourself, who are in command of the army, Indrajita or Nikumba. None else could undertake such a task. Taking a company of warriors, do yourself, he is telling to Prahasta, do yourself speedily, place yourself in their mid, and set forth in order to triumph over those inhabitants of the woods. In this sortie, as soon as the army of monkeys hear the uproar created by the Titans, they will disperse. Volatile, undisciplined, and fickle, the monkeys will not be able to endure your cry any more than an elephant can endure the roaring of a lion. His army routed, Rama with Saumitri, robbed of further authority, will fall into your power, O Prahasta. A hypothetical misfortune is preferable to one that is certain, whether it be unpleasing to hear or no. Say that you consider it to be to your advantage. Thus addressed by that Indra among Titans, Prahasta, the leader of the army, answered him as Ushanas, the king of the Asuras, saying, O king, formerly we discussed this matter with a wise, and after examining the different points of view, a disagreement arose between us. To return Sita was what I considered the most advantageous course. Not to do so meant war. We foresaw this. I have ever been kept with gifts and honors by you, as also with every mark of friendship. When the opportunity arises, it is not for me to render you a service. Nay, I shall neither spare life, children, wife, nor health, nor wealth. Know me to be ready to sacrifice my life in your interest in battle. Having spoken thus to his brother, the general Prahasta said to his leading officers who stood before him, gather a large army together immediately. Today, the flesh eating birds and beasts shall feed on the enemy that I strike down on the battlefield with my swift arrows. At this command, those highly powerful leaders assembled the forces in the abode of the king of Titans. In an instant, Lanka was filled with redoubtable warriors like unto elephants, furnished with weapons of every kind, while they propitiated the gods who feeds on offerings and paid homage to the Brahmins. Fragrant breeze bearing the scent of clarified butter began to blow, and the Titans, all ready for battle, taking hold of garlands of every kind, adorned themselves with delight. Thereafter, armed with bows and mails, they set out in their chariots at a brisk pace, their eyes turned towards their king Ravana, and they ranged themselves round Prahasta while he paid obeisance to his sovereign to the beating of the gong of dreadful sound. Whereafter, with his weapons, the general ascended his chariot that was furnished with all that was needful, harnessed to exceedingly swift steeds, skillfully driven and in perfect condition rumbling like a great cloud, shining like the moon itself, unapproachable as the serpent that served as its standard, solidly and artistically constructed, decorated with a net of pure gold, smiling as it were in its magnificence. Such was the car in which Prahasta, having received Ravana's command, stood. Then the Titan set out from Lanka immediately in the midst of a powerful army, and at his departure, a rolling of drums resembling the roar of Parjanya and a blast of fanfares arose that seemed to fill the earth, and with a blare of conches, Titans advanced, creating a terrible uproar. Narantaka, Kumbhahanu, Kumbhahanu, Mahanada, Sumantra, Samunnata, colossal giants, his adjuncts surrounded Prahasta, who emerged from the eastern gate in the midst of an immense, formidable, and powerful army, resembling a herd of elephants, and in the center of that force, vast as the sea, Prahasta in his fury appeared like death at the end of the world while the uproar that arose on his setting forth with his titans raising their war cries drew a sinister answering call from all creatures. In a cloudless sky, birds of prey advancing to meet the chariot circled from left to right. Fearful jackals vomited forth fire and flames. Howling lugubriously, a meteor fell from heaven, and the wind blew chill. Planets, and in opposition to each other, lost their brilliance, while clouds with a raucous sound showered blood on Prahasta's car, with which his attendants were bespattered. A croaking vulture facing the south alighted on the top of his standard, depriving the Titan of his luster. His charioteer, who never turned back in battle despite his skill, again and again allowed the goad to fall from his hand. The brilliance of that sortie of incomparable pomp vanished in an instant, and the horses tumbled on the even ground. Beholding Prahasta, renowned for his martial valor, advancing to give battle, the army of monkeys, furnished with weapons of every kind, went forward to meet him, and a formidable clamor arose among them as they tore up the trees and seized hold of great rocks. Thereafter, the Titans yelled and the monkeys roared, both armies being filled with ardor, and in their fury and zeal and their impatience to slay each other, they challenged one another with tremendous shouts. Meanwhile, Prahasta advanced on the forces of the monkeys, whom in his folly he imagined he would destroy, and with an impetuous bound he hurled himself upon that army as a grasshopper falls into a flame. Thus come to the end chapter 57 of Yuddha Kanda in Ramayana. Namaste Sharada Devi Kashmira Puravasini Tvamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidya Danancha Dehime. Goodbye.